Customer on this side.
All right, guys, so I'm an open book. What do you want to know? Go ahead.
So we started using the Jazzy saw, like you guys use.
Yeah, practicing each other.
So what do you do to make sure that it stays straight?
So for me, if I'm cutting out several jacks at the same time, I take a big speed square or a L square and I draw a line on every one. And it's practice. You're gonna take some practice, and a sharp blade always helps, or a sharp chain. And when you start your cut, double check it, triple check it. Make sure you're on point, because usually once you start your cut, that's how the cut's going to go for the rest of that jack. So I know that it's not a perfect science, but what I end up doing after I'm finished cutting, if I don't like the way that the jack turned out, I'll take a chainsaw to it, and I'll shave. If I can't get it with the prosody, then I'll take a chainsaw to it and shave it back into my 7 1/4, 7 1/2, or whatever depth or whatever length I need. Then I go to the belt sander. I use some 36 grit, usually a real abrasive belt, and then dust mask and grind. And that's, I still think it's quicker than cutting out individual jacks. I find it's a little more accurate as long as you keep those jacks stacked. We were talking about deckboard bending a little bit earlier.
Yes, sir.
And what was your question?
So my guys like to bend on site, and I try to let them do what they want. I found that muscling them doesn't usually work. It's better to let them find their own way. And we've never bent with a jig. So I just wanted you to touch on the difference between bending in your shop like you do, and then bending into their cut curves.
Sure. It's pretty rare that I actually bend on site. I'm usually bending my deck boards in my shop. I find that I have a lot better control over what I'm doing if I'm in a controlled environment. Usually when I'm trying to bend on the deck, even when I have solid surface blocking, I can find imperfections, or we're trying too hard, or I'm distracted. I'm trying to think about the next thing, what's going on the job site, instead of focusing on that plank. So for me, I create all the jigs on 1-inch plywood, and I use thin strips of material to simulate the curve that I'm trying to bend, especially if I'm trying to do multiples. If I'm trying to do like a set of stairs and a piece of fascia and a bench, all these different things, and some of that's at elevation, so I create it on the floor, and then I stack I'll start with my first piece, and then I'll stack those pieces as I go. Sometimes I build a racetrack, which is like a double jig, like one on the inside, one on the outside, to force the material in. And other times once that piece is made, if I need to build on that, I'll start building to the inside or the outside. Usually I bend on an outside curve. It's really hard to do a push. Yeah. So it's doable. It's doable, but with the outside bend, you can stretch it and you can pull on it a little bit, and you can kind of manipulate it better than if you're trying to push it into a form.
And then would you explain, especially to my guys, how you bevel your blade a little bit, and
Sure.
what you do and why you do that to use for your sanding, right?
Yeah. Yes, especially on curves. I always cut with like a 3-degree back bevel, almost always, if not more, because like if I have another board that's going around like this, and I have a back bevel, I can touch the top of that board and sand it, and I have room where I'm not destroying the G-tape that's sitting below all that, and I can kind of shave it. I can pencil lead. I can run a rasp on it and go, okay, I got it. That's a 16th, and then I can just take the rasp out, and it's amazing how much you can shape. I use a belt sander a lot. It's one of my most used tools. It's hard on the back, but I'm on my knees a lot, and I'm just working that thing, because what you're doing is you're taking something that's not perfect and you're making it more of a perfect shape. Even though when I bring those boards from my shop to the job site, I put the board in place and I trace the board. I don't just take a route. People keep asking me the same question. Why don't you just use a trammel and a router and just route the circle? Because the board's never going to be like that. And if I try to bend it into that shape, it can be done. It can be done, but I just prefer to do it in my shop. I think it's just a preference, and because I find it more controllable.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So with Bending boards, you bend PVC, that's what you bend, right? Mainly. When it comes to composite, what have you seen difference-wise? Like harder, easier, anything like that?
Cap composites are a much more difficult board to bend. The whole idea behind the cap composite is that you're trying to heat the core of the board without destroying the capstock. That's the game, all right? Now, I've learned a few tricks over the last 20 years on how to do that, and I've been real quiet about it because I'm not really doing a whole lot of cap composites right now. I don't build with a lot of Trex or this brand or whatever. I'm mostly a PVC guy. But with AZEK, there's another brand called TimberTech, and that's all capped. I've just come to the point in my life right now where my time is like really valuable, and instead of playing in my lab, I'm here, talking about this product, or I'm on my way to there, or whatever, or I'm on bids and grinding it out, 12 hours a day, and I don't have enough time to freely experiment and play. Right now, that whole part of my life is on hold. I just got too much else going on right now. Which kind of brings me to social media. I know that it's a big thing. A lot of you guys follow me, and I want to know if you guys have any questions there, because that's something I'm pretty good at. And if I can share my information with you, you guys took your time and your day to come see Regal and learn about their products, and if there's something I can pay back to you right now, I will do it. Just you gotta let me know.
How do I inspire these guys to make those videos like you do, and just to find mundane things sometimes, and you get thousands of people following it.
Okay.
And to inspire these guys to document what they're doing.
Well, if I was getting paid, and my boss told me, hey, I'll pay you to post a video, or I'll pay you to generate content, you have one account. He's the account manager. Are you the account manager? So anybody that wants to take 10 minutes, and this isn't part of your break time, this is work, because it is work.
It is, absolutely.
Okay? If you'd rather cut a decent video and then give me that content so I can do something with it, because this stuff is valuable.
How many years have you been on Instagram?
I think I joined in 2012. So 7 years. But Instagram didn't become anything. I didn't realize what Instagram was, or how amazing or how incredible it could be, until about 3 years ago. When I hit about 12,000, I hit 10,000 followers. Calvin and I were at Fry's, like this electronics store, and I go, we should give away a hoodie. I'm almost at 10,000 followers. That took a long time to get to that point. And I was really non-consistent. I was not consistent at all with my posting. And then I started hitting this. Then Instagram kind of got really hot for a while, and all these big like influencers were just ramping these huge numbers. And I'm like, whoa, Toolaholic. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He went from 25,000 to 100,000 followers. And it's not just about followers, but when it depends what you want to do with your page. You're already selling decks off Instagram. Do you need a big followership for that? Maybe, maybe not. But it's already working for you. It's free. I mean, how much were you paying in Yellow Pages when that was hot? Hashtags are really important. I know it sounds stupid. It's a pound sign. It's a number symbol. But it's how people can find you. And so you guys will notice some people are really clean in their verbiage, but I'm a cluster mess, man. I'm tagging and hashtagging crap through every sentence. But I do it on purpose. If I misspell a word, it's on purpose. And I'm trying to stay as humble as I possibly can about this whole thing, because it could be taken away from you just as quickly as it's earned. But it's taken me a while to earn this, so I feel justified in what I'm doing with it, But I want it to be a positive thing. And so for the last 6 months, I'm like, hell, I'm just gonna document everything I do. Except maybe use the bathroom, and just share if it has and it's crazy, as insignificant as something is. Oh, look at this red dot on this line right here. Somebody didn't know that every 16 inches that's repeated on a tape measure. When you first start up with Regal, I had to earn that spot. I didn't know these guys back here. I went and busted my ass at a trade show and sweating my off. Other influencers walk in on the day of the show. Hey, I've been there for 5 days cranking this display together with these guys, just working it out. And then when you do that with the vice president of the company, they kind of dig that. They know that you're in it for the right reasons, right, Jim? You know what's up. you know? And Jim's a go-getter, man. I mean, he's out there doing the same thing, putting in plugs.
And you nailed it. So the difference between Jason compared to other guys we work with or have worked with in the past is that he walks the talk. He's got it. He knows how to use a drill. He's got tools in his tool belt, not a cell phone, right?
Yeah, it's all those PT tools, guys.
Yeah. So,